I don't know how we should establish when the cutoff line is here, but eventually we'll get to it because Puglisi's is only 5.5 minutes long.
7, I think, maybe.
6, 7 minutes long. Anyways, here we go. Raiola, senior year, Buford. Now, this is the first tape we've seen since his sophomore tape, I believe. Okay, there was no junior tape available. I think college coaches got availability to it. They got access to it. So there's that. Just a little side note there. Guarantee what we will see is bombs. We will absolutely see bombs. Arm talent galore, or arm strength galore. There you go. That is an absolute moon ball. All right, this is something we talked about last night, and it's something I think you're going to see a ton of. I know you're going to see a ton of. All right, is this deep ball is not just, let's get into 2 so they can really see this. This deep ball, okay, is not just long, all right? It comes down with the nose down, almost like a punt. This right here is nuts. That's just creativity. We're going to spin that one back. This is why, he loves the Patrick Mahomes comps, and people love it a lot because he does a lot of this stuff, all right? That is some unique arm talent, okay, getting that ball out and being able to still throw it on target, okay? I guarantee you this is a moon shot. There it is. Watch this ball come down. Watch the nose of that ball come down on that wide receiver. Here's why we want that, okay? Russell Wilson was the first guy I saw doing this, okay? Really, really accentuating this idea and trying to get this ball to come down this way when we throw it, okay? Because guess what DBs don't do? DBs don't do what wide receivers do. Wide receivers all day long, they are taught and they train to do this, to track that ball over their shoulder, right? To watch that ball come down, all right, and catch that thing. DBs do not. DBs are trying to do this. They're trying to turn their head back around, and by the time they do that, we're dropping it in over the top of their face, okay? So we want that ball coming back down with the nose back down on the receiver. That one goes out of the screen, okay, with this arc right here. This is really, really nerdy, but this is what I prefer, okay? And we'll see it in the next guy, I'm pretty sure, too. This arc on this football looks like this, guys. Straight up and then straight down, okay? That's the action we want from that deep ball. And I think it comes from our lower body mechanics, all right? And what you'll see from this guy as he throws deep balls, he does not let his feet stay glued into the turf at all, except for when people are all on his legs. This is that arm talent and arm strength. That ball is thrown 35 yards with one leg, essentially, okay? But when I'm talking about this lower body mechanics, you'll rarely ever see his lower body just like die on him. He's really, really well trained and cleaned up from the hips down, okay? Again, just straight up bombs. The ball leaves the screen immediately and is coming straight back down on these guys, okay? KJ Bolden just tracking that thing really, really well. I believe that's KJ, or maybe number 4 for them as well. Whew. Touch as well on all of these throws. What we don't see and what I'm curious to see on the film, okay, we've seen a glorious amount of really, really good touch, accuracy, all right, and that good arc on those deep balls, even in the face of pressure right here. This is essentially a scramble, not necessarily a scramble to. It's just like a 50-50 ball he's throwing down here to 21 on the bottom. I was at this game against St. Francis. Like most of the season, man was just getting all kind of pressure on his body. All right, so to be able to throw this football, I think he to me, first game of the season, big time environment. All right, hey, welcome to Georgia football. It's not necessarily Georgia St. Francis from Maryland, okay, but welcome to quote unquote big time football. He got hit all night long and played an extremely, extremely tough football game. When we're looking for like, hey, intangible boxes, toughness was certainly there all season long, I felt like, from him. Now, some of these balls do tend to float on him, but how could they not? He's falling away from this ball with pressure on him as well. So I think his arm honestly got hit there on that one, to be honest with you, okay? There's a pump for him and a good lofted football. This is effortless for him as well. You'll see 60-yard bombs come out of this arm from him with little to no effort, okay? He told me at the Elite 11, he wants to, every ball he cuts, he wants to cut it about 85%. He doesn't want to feel like he's throwing it at 100%. And this is something I think he always has. Some of the Pinnacle tape had him running around and creating, but it really had to get enhanced this year at Buford, okay? Because this was all year long. And what I'm talking about is him not doing this, okay, not doing this, but really stepping up through the smoke is what Kirby called this, right? Stepping up through the smoke, getting through the line of scrimmage while keeping our eyes downfield, okay, and being what we call a playmaker, right? We're just distributing the football at that point, and that ball is not only at the perfect spot, but it's got good juice on it as well. Okay, here's that creation, getting outside the pocket, being able to throw on the run. That's elite. That's needed, I should say, nowadays in any level of football. Whew, that ball was up in the air forever. Forever. You know what we haven't seen, guys? I haven't seen just a liner. Just an absolute missile. I have not seen a piss missile, a ball 5 feet off the ground that traveled 30. Okay, a lot of this is great. Okay, that ball is dropped in a daggum bucket. Okay, the next clip right here. This is him back again, stepping, I believe, up. Okay, or taking it through the face. All right, and throwing a good ball with touch. But what I'm looking for, all right, on this tape so far, and we're only 3 minutes in now. What I'm looking for in this tape is, hey, where's a slant into tight coverage? Where's a dig into tight coverage? Where's a comeback? Okay, we see a lot of this. This was the whole offense. Not necessarily the whole offense, but they're a heavy play action football team. As you can see, that ball's thrown with a lot of touch and a lot of finesse as well. Something that, look, if we were to grade it, all right, this is, again, from watching him, this is that, quote, X factor for me. Being able to play with finesse, being able to layer footballs is vitally important, okay, at the college football level like this right here, even though I think that ball could have probably been thrown with some pace, okay? Taking pressure again, throwing off his back foot. That ball traveled about 25 yards. And if we're really checking down distance formation and personnel, down distance formation personnel, okay? This is why I preach this, all right? It will explain a whole lot about why football players are doing what they're doing. Check this out. It's third in the zip code. That's not the first down stick. That's the first and 10 stick. So it's 3rd and 21 right here. All right, so he knows he's got to hold this football up, and he knows, hey, we got to get this ball to the sticks. This is tremendous quarterback play, guys. This is superhero stuff right there, or attempting to be a superhero. Ended up picking up a first down in a big football game right there against North Cobb, where every down mattered in that one from judging the box score. Okay, showing a little juice with the legs right there. Again, like we talked about last night, not a 4.6 guy. Okay, probably not a 4.75 guy. This is probably more like a 4.88 guy. All right, and that's all cool. There's that ball with some good touch as well. Perfect deep ball. It reads coverage really, really well, as we told you last night. That ball is up in the air forever. Where is the safety on that one? Where is the safety on that? What we got here? Okay. He is way gone. I think this ball could be ripped, should be ripped, because the safety right here, okay, this guy's getting over in college football. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, so here's what, we're not just here to say, ooh, everybody's great. We're here to find some errors, all right, every once in a while. So there's one right there. I think that ball probably should have been thrown with some juice. That ball's left up. Safety's way out of the picture. But guess why he's way 40 yards back? Okay? Because this dude's launching bombs. This is a Colquitt County football game right here, it looks like. I don't know, that's not Colquitt. Can't quite tell who that is. Some legs usage right there again. We're 4 minutes in. Let's give him to the 5-minute mark. My God. Holy hell. That ball was up in the air forever. I love this, okay? I love it on deep balls. When we're throwing balls 50 yards plus, okay, first of all, when we have arms like this, by the way, I know the next guy's got one of these too. When we can throw it 65 yards accurately, we reach a whole new level, a whole new playing field of offensive coordinating. All right, we drive routes so far down the field that everything else in our offense now opens up, okay? Because safeties are no longer at 9 yards, they're at 13, all right? Corners are no longer at 7 yards, they're at 12. You understand? The quarters coverage you see down in and down out most times in high school football that is at 9 yards and looks like quarters match, that sucker becomes 12 yards like that because guys are just terrified of you being able to throw this thing 70 yards, okay? We're going to see that again on both of these football players. More deep balls, okay? More deep balls. All right. We're at 8:20. Whew, that ball, oh, that's PI. That's PI. Does he catch this football? Ooh, that was KJ. No, he didn't. But we drew a PI because, again, this is a prime example, all right? This is a prime example of why we want this, okay? This ball is doing this right now, and this corner is panicking. All right, he's just, whoa, I can't find the ball because it's on your head. All right, it's not going to hit you in the head. It's going to come right over your face and drop right in the basket in front of you, okay? So that's why we want that arc. That's why we want to create that panic. That's why when this happens, you're never going to find the football. That ball's layered into zone coverage as well. It's a good rip, man. On the move. Let's see what he does here. More touch. Dropped it in over a defender on an out and up. It looked like they're a converted route from the wide receiver. Face of pressure. Look how he spun his my God, this might be the best throw all night. I'm glad we waited in on this one. Watch him unscrew his cleats here, guys. Sometimes when we're a quarterback, we can leave our feet in the ground when we throw this deep ball and it ends up kind of fluttering on us. Watch his lower body completely unscrew here and uncork and get all the way through this football. I wish we could slow it down for you on huddle, but we cannot. All right, that's him at release point. All right, watch his body whip back into the defender as he's getting hit right there. That's why that ball still travels 50 yards while getting hit. Little truck action, okay? More scramble, more touch to Justin Baker. That's a great catch from Justin Baker right there out of the backfield. My Lord, that's a big kid. Okay. Oh,
that was
dude. Hey, look, hold on. Hey, there's been two things that let me know he made this highlight tape. Okay, do you know what they were? That's obviously one. He just put the guy that he broke his ankles and arrowed him.
The one highlight earlier where he circles himself 10 times, as if we didn't know.
While he's down on the ground and he's like spun around. Yeah. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that used to, I think we've shown it on the show before. He highlighted the flag that he got for a personal foul for taunting because he was talking shit as a DB. And instead of highlighting himself, he highlighted the flag. So, look, dude, I'm fine with it. And I definitely know you made this tape. So that's even doper. I think that's awesome. All right. Are we good? I think we're good on Raiola. All right, here's what I don't see. Okay, let's talk about what we don't see and what I didn't see in person. Okay, whether it be at the Elite 11, okay, or whether it be in person watching 3 or 4 games this year. No lasers, no beams, no rippers, no piss missiles. Everything is touch, everything is layered, everything is finesse, everything is a perfect ball, everything is catchable. Now, you can win that way, as we see. By the way, 31 touchdowns, no interceptions, protected the football, was extremely accurate while dealing with all kinds of pressure. So you can win that way. But here's what I believe about this position. And I was talking to several football coaches about this today, okay, on the sideline at the Georgia Dome. Here's what I believe about this position. Anything working back towards my face or the middle of the field or anything working back towards me, that ball's got to be thrown with pace and acceleration. That ball's got to be thrown with what we call juice around this network, okay? So here's what I'm talking about. Anything doing this, a slant, okay? Anything doing this, a comeback. Anything doing this, a dig. Anything coming back towards my face, back towards the line of scrimmage, or back towards the sideline. These balls have to be thrown with juice. Do you know why?
Tighter window throws typically.
Kind of, but why are they tighter window throws?
Because you've got a linebacker sinking over them.
The driving down effect, right? These defenders that are playing with any type of cushion, right? All of these routes right here, all of these routes are routes where they are now driving down once the ball is thrown. They are not running this way. They are running towards the ball. All right, so when they're running towards the ball, yes, spaces get tighter, but that's why they get tighter. All of those balls got to be thrown with extreme velocity. All right, no matter what level you're playing, I don't care if the guy's got 5 yards of separation. That ball is to arrive. All right, it is not to woo. That ball is to hiya. All right, that is how those should feel. I don't see that from his evaluation. Now, here's the thing about him. It's there. We see him throw the ball 65 yards. He's got tremendous amount of juice. He can throw it with life. I just want to see it, all right? And I think that alone right there, that is 4 years of real quarterback play, not 7, 8, 9 years of quarterback play banked. So as he becomes a college football player, I think we'll see a lot more of that. Now, let me get my notes right quick because we're going to go through the scoring systems before we switch over to Puglisi. I can't see the chat. Are they liking this, loving this? What's going on?
Yeah, they're liking it.
All right, here we go. So here's our areas, our categories. All right, we got arm talent. Okay, arm talent, strength. Okay, and then accuracy. All right, and then we have frame, athleticism. All right. Hey, by the way, one of you guys get some pen and a paper right here and mark these down as we score them, so I don't have to look back and try to remember which I graded each of these individuals. Okay, 2X right there on that one, and then our X factor. Now, let's establish the X factor first before we go anywhere. His X factor to me is his ability to create, all right, his ability to create and his ability to always play on any different platform and his ability to play with finesse and layer the football. He is elite at that. And obviously the deep ball coming down. Those are all, in my opinion, those are finesse. Those are all finesse, which is very, very important at the quarterback position. I don't think enough guys play with it. So I would categorize that as his quote-unquote X factor as a football player. We're not talking about intangibles, whether or not he walks into the room or all that stuff that we can evaluate if we know the guy truly. We're talking about his X factor as a football player on a 0 to 5 scale. All right, how good at that X factor and how much better can he potentially get? I think he's about as finessed out as we can be.
So are you ranking it from like a
0 to 5. And you can go like 4.7, 4.8. You can do whatever you want. In my opinion, right here, I don't know of a single player in high school football right now that can create, throw balls with people on his body, and play with the level of finesse that he does. I give it a 4.85 right now. Anything better would be like, all right, the body is a little bit twitchier. You see what I'm saying? He could create with his legs a little bit more, all right, and keep his eyes downfield. But other than that, he plays with as much finesse and creatability. I know that's our playmaking is one of our categories, but that's his X factor to me, and I put it at a 4.85.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd probably like a 4.7 is what I would have pointed at.
Just to give you preference or preface, the X factor for Ryan Puglisi that we're going to watch, I already know it's horsepower, and he's about the same range. And here's why. Okay, he's 6'4", 230. If he were 6'6", 230, 240, we'd be off the scale. All right, it'd be a 5, but we're going to put him at about a 4.85. All right, so there we go. Let's go on to the rest of them. Arm talent, all right, I think we're about as good, all right, as we can humanly possibly be. All right, we're going to go 4.95. By the way, anything over a 4.5 on Brooks's metric scale, I have tracked as quote-unquote 5-star or preseason All-American, freshman, okay? Arm strength, it's there. I'm gonna go 4.95 again. Agreed? But here's the kind of the take back for me. We don't see any juice.
Yeah.
There's no lasers.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's not that he can't do it. It's
That's
just that
why
you don't
that's
see it
the
a lot
thing.
over the middle.
That's why I don't know if I would go ahead and put it at a 4.95 for me, just because if I'm going to do that, and like the arm talent, we got plenty of that. We got to see plenty of that on the tape. Arm strength, we got to see it on the deep ball and his ability to kind of like will that ball down the field. Yeah.
Which lets us know it's there. We also, it was 17 and a half minutes long. We didn't wait long enough to do it. So if you're a young player watching this today, give me everything. Give me the full bag within the first 4 minutes because I'm not going to watch 17 and a half. I don't care how good you are. So, yeah, we didn't wait long enough to see it, but I'm telling you from the evaluation, I don't see it a ton. So, but, again, it's there. We know he can throw it a country mile, which means he can throw it 100 miles an hour, 9 times out of 10. The only thing that kind of sets me back on this, and if you're a real thrower of the football, you know what I'm talking about. My ball comes out beautifully. All right, every quarterback's ball comes out beautifully when they throw a deep ball with like 80, 75, 80%. Okay? When you just, you don't try to really, you don't really try to get after, you just kind of let that thing go, that's when you throw your best ball. All right? When you're trying to really get one, sometimes that ball flight can get a little loose. Maybe that's why we're avoiding this again, because we're still young in the quarterback process. It's the only thing I can think about. But I think we got to backtrack on this grade, and we're going to put him at a 4.75, okay, with a little bit of question mark on the notes in future history right there, because it might improve. Do we agree?
Yes.
I have no problem with that.
All right, accuracy. I think he's he's really, really accurate. Okay, he can put it where he wants it.
Deep balls especially.
Deep balls especially, and here's the deal, extremely clean mechanically. Like really, really clean mechanically, really, really well trained. We're going to put him at a 4.88 right there on that scale. Now, he is about 6'2 and a half. Okay, he's about 215 pounds. Okay, I would say that's like if we were to put that on a scale, and it's not like, 215, okay? It's Patrick Mahomes 215, which is great, okay? But on a scale of 0 to 5, that's probably his lowest scale in terms of his frame, right? So I'm going to put him at a flat 4 right here because he's not 6 foot. He's big, and he's going to get bigger, all right? But he's not like 100% an Adonis-looking figure. All right, athleticism, this, again, might be one of his lower traits. He showed more of these abilities this year at Buford because he had to. What would you guys scale him on a 0 to 5 in terms of an athleticism?
I'd give it somewhere between a 3 and a 3.5. He's got enough to make certain guys miss, and he can get you a 20-yard scramble if he needs to, but he's not anything that you're going to consistently win one-on-ones versus linebackers and things like that.
He makes me think about what Kirby Smart says about the athleticism at a quarterback position. Like, he is a 6 out of 10 in the quarterback position, and that's exactly what you need your quarterback to be in today's age of game. Like, he is athletic enough to be serviceable in that aspect, but he's not elite in that aspect of his game.
I'm hearing 3.25.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Somewhere in there.
All right, playmaking ability. This is impacted by his athleticism score, but his arm talent drastically impacts his ability to make these plays. Okay, I was really, really impressed. I tweeted during one of his football games about how his touch is almost like Steph Curry's floater in the middle of the paint. You'll see him, particularly in the red zone, he'll like attempt to scramble, he'll like he's taking off, get a bunch of defenders drawn up, and then he just little one of these right here. Okay, so his playmaking ability, though impacted by his athleticism, I think is drastically altered by his arm talent. I'm going to go 4.25 in this category for me.
Yeah, I somewhere between 4 and 4.2. His playmaking ability stems from the fact that he can throw it pretty much anywhere on a platform.
Correct.
He's not going to be this guy where he scrambles around or runs away from a blitz and does that. It's more he's got someone on his feet and he can still throw the ball 40 yards.
And this is when he does extend plays, when he does make plays, bro, big explosives. We saw that on the tape. When he made somebody miss, eyes downfield, we're dropping a dot 45 yards downfield. I'm going to go 4.25 right here, okay? I think we'd be at about a 3.8 if we didn't have that ability downfield. Ceiling, how much better can this football player get? Because here's the deal, guys. Again, only 4 years of competitive football, though been trained to throw it for years, I would imagine. If you watch this guy throw, it's like, my God, who taught you? Oh, Christensen, the best quarterback trainer in the world.
I mean, it feels like he's got about as high of a ceiling as you could have at the quarterback position, in my opinion.
It's
athleticism score will always ding ceilings for me.
Yeah, it's interesting to me just because I feel like a lot that we've seen him do thus far isn't what you're going to have to ask him to do. I mean, let's be honest. In high school DBs, you can throw a lot of deep balls. If you have an accurate deep ball, you're not going to be that challenged where you're a guy like Dylan Raiola. Whereas
you have the weaponry that
whereas if you have to thread something over the middle or you've got a lot of digs, that was the one thing I didn't think we saw a lot in the film. A lot of these over the middle accuracy things. So I think he might have that skill set already, but I think that's something that he's definitely going to have to utilize in college. So I'd put him at a 7 or an 8 right now, ceiling wise.
All right, so here we go. We said a 7 or an 8 out of that would be a 3.5 because they're scaled by 2. So here we go. Ceiling to me, like a 4.35. No. Let's go 4.5. I think all we are short of, because I think from a quarterback standpoint, he has the ability to make every throw in the book. He has the mental processor to do absolutely everything. The only thing that might ever limit him is that he will never be Jaden Daniels, the athlete. And that keeps us from a full-scale 5 on the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
But everything else has the potential to be completely maxed out from a physical standpoint.
Yes.
So are we weighing too much of the legs? This is a future discussion we're going to have because, you know what I'm saying? Is it worth a full 5 points on the scale of a ceiling? Because that's a full point. You're talking about if you don't have elite traits as an athlete, we're knocking you off a whole 5.
Whole 5 or just 1 point?
No, 0.5. So we're taking a ceiling from a 5.0 down to a 4.5 if you're missing the athleticism like eliteness. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would mark that. Because I mean, if you have a free release off the edge and you can't get away from it, that really hurts. And now, not saying again, he can probably have that throw in time and get it if the guy's around his legs, but it's something that if you can't escape a free release or something like that, or you can't scramble for the extra 15 yards, that's when it's going to hurt you.
If you're a full stick, if you're a full statue in the pocket, we're knocking you a full 0.5 on the ceiling scale from now on. He is not that.
No.
Okay, so we're going to put a 4.65 on the ceiling. So here's how we're going to do this. A 4.95, all right, plus a 4.75, plus a 4.88, plus 4, plus 3.25, plus 4.25, all right, plus 4.65 times 2 plus 4.65 plus 4.85 is 40.23 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided by 9. All right, we're looking at a 4.47. All right around that bottom line, that edge of a full bore 5-star is how it came out the first run on the metric score.